What's up, YouTube? Today I have something fantastic to share with you guys. We're going to reveal the Maxisys MS906BT. That's right, the 906BT. A lot of you guys have been asking me information on this tool, and a lot of you don't even know about this tool. And by the time you end this presentation, you're going to know everything about the 906BT. Also, who is this tool for? Because it's not for everybody. That's right, it's not for everybody. And then I'm going to share with you the differences between the MS908 and the MS905. I'm going to reveal special functions such as key coding. That's correct, guys, key coding. And then lastly, I'm going to share with you a little guide on how not to get screwed over when you purchase your machine. So without further ado, for you guys who don't know who I am, my name is Curtis Harden. I'm an official Autel Diagnostic Consultant. I've been doing this for 8 years, and the number one key to my business is the one-on-one service, the one-on-one relationship. So if you guys don't want that, please do not buy the tool from me, because that's what I'm going to give you. All right, so let's just go into the journey of where you guys are standing right now. When you're trying to decipher a diagnostic tool to purchase, here are a few problems that you're probably faced with. Knowing if the tool can solve your problems. A lot of you guys are having all these sales reps saying, you know, buy my tool, it'll do this, do this. But when you get it, it doesn't do crap. So that's one of the fears that I know you guys are going through. And then finding a diagnostic tool within the scope of your budget. These things can be very, very cheap, and they can be very, very expensive. Now, sometimes it doesn't make any sense to buy something that's $10,000 and you're not even going to utilize all the functions, or you don't even know if it's even worth it. So you want something reasonable. And then lastly, having the support structure to help you maximize the tool's full potential. A lot of people, when I visit their shops, their tools are like sitting bricks. They're not utilizing the features on there, and it's because there's no platform for training. Okay, so another situation that you're probably in is your current subscription is expiring. All right, and you're just trying to say, you know what, I don't want to pay $1,200 for something that is not going to give me a lot of value. Maybe I should look into something else. So if this is the stage that you're in, I'm here to help. So, and then lastly, deciding where to purchase from. There's like an array of selections where you guys can go, and it's confusing. So I'm going to address these problems, and to start, let's just go with what tools you probably may have right now. So a lot of my clients that call me are having these introductory level tools, and they lack overall vehicle coverage. They're missing manufacturers. They don't go into all the ECU modules. And for some people, like maybe if you're working from home, or if you're more mechanical, maybe you can probably get by purchasing one of these devices. But the problem is when you're reaching that professional level, if you're trying to get a comprehensive diagnostic on certain vehicles, these tools are not going to do it. And a lot of people are hoping that it can, but on a professional level, you can't use these tools and expect it to, do a bunch of coding, because they don't. All right. In fact, most of the coding on these tools are non-existent, and Autel purposely does this so you guys can, choose a better tool that will solve your problems. In theory, this is just a theory. The more you pay, the more problems you solve. That's just a generic theory. All right. So some of you guys, as I said, who are probably on the verge of upgrading their tool, they probably don't want to go back just because they don't see the value in that update. And also, other of my clients who have these tools, they're just saying that it doesn't give them a lot of problem-solving coding. They need something that's a bit more extensive. All right. So what I want to share with you guys is what I call the 3 stages of diagnostic equipment. This will help you determine what a stage 1 tool can do, a stage 2 tool can do, and a stage 3 tool can do. So a stage 1 is something very basic. Very basic. It probably costs less than $500. They just read the ECU and present to you maybe an error code with a description. It doesn't give you a lot of coding capabilities, if any. All right. Stage 2 is something that gives you comprehensive diagnostics, has a wide range of vehicles. It can give you the problem-solving coding. So problem-solving coding is, as I said, when you were put in some, ECU module in a car or any sensor, the car is not going to run properly. You have to configure it to the computer and say, hey, this new component is going to work with you. This is extensive coding, So that's a stage 2 tool. Stage 3 is it incorporates everything that stage 1 and 2 has, but stage 3 gives you the ability to do ECU programming. ECU programming is when you take the calibration files from the manufacturer site and inject them to the ECU to the latest software. It's just, think of it as you get a computer, but it doesn't have anything loaded on it. It's not going to work. So you have to install a CD to get the operating system on there. All right. So that's what you're doing basically with programming. All right. Now, some of you guys who are watching this don't need this. You don't need something that does programming. You just need something that can identify the problem quickly and give you options to solve that problem at a rapid pace. All right. And just to give you an idea, a better visual of this, I created something that will allow you to see what you're investing in. So as I told you before, the more you pay, the more problems you solve. Right. So let's just take a look at this legend. This may be a little complex, guys, but just take a look at this. So you see we have this color here. It's like let's say a light blue color. All right. This just does diagnostics. This is the diagnostics. The darker one is the coding capabilities. Then we got programming capabilities, the very dark one. All right. The circles represent problems. All right. So a stage 1 tool, as I said, it doesn't have any coding capabilities. So you can see this color is just a light blue. It only does diagnostics. It just reads and erase, right? Now a stage 2 does a combination of these things. It gives you the diagnostic capabilities. It gives you the coding capabilities, and it has a limited number of programming. Okay? That's a stage 2 tool. And you can see a stage 3 tool does a vast majority of these tasks. And that's why the stage 3 tools cost more, because they solve more problems. I hope this helps give you a visualization of what you're investing in. All right. So these are 3 what I call personas or industries that will benefit from this MS906BT. We have your auto repair companies. We have your auto body repair companies and locksmiths. All right. So these guys are a good match for this. If you're on the auto repair and you don't require programming, this tool is perfect for you. All right. If you're in the auto body repair, your main goal is to get rid of that airbag light. This tool can erase crash data, guys. This tool can erase crash data. And instead of outsourcing your stuff to, the dealer, all you got to do is just press a couple buttons, erase that code, send that report to the insurance companies, and you're able to keep 100% of the profit. It's not rocket science, guys. And then if you're a locksmith, this tool does a lot of key coding, and it's very, very simple. Now, generally speaking, key coding isn't strong on universal diagnostic tools. All right. I would say on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the weakest, 5 being the strongest, I would give it about a 3.5. But it makes your job a lot easier, having a tool that can do a combination of, getting rid of the airbag light or check engine light and doing the key coding. And I'm going to show you this later. All right. So let me go and introduce you guys to the 906BT. Some of you guys don't care about the hardware. I'm a nerd, so I like it. So the product ID of this particular model is a Maxisys MS906BT. Now let me clarify something for you guys, because you guys get confused when you hear about the regular MS906. This is different, guys. This is completely different. The 906 is a toned down version of this. The two significant differences are the following. A, the 906 is not Bluetooth. There's a cable that sticks on top of the tablet that connects into the OBD port of the vehicle, and the car powers up the tablet. If you take that cable off, the tablet will cut off because there's no battery in the tablet. All right. The second thing is the 906, the regular 906, doesn't have the extensive coding capabilities as the tool you're looking at right now. All right. So what I advise people is rather save your money, a couple $100s, and pay the one-time fee to have those problem-solving solutions in the diagnostic tool. So when you are having different, situations in your shop where you may need some certain coding or something like that, you'll be able to solve that problem versus, paying less for the 906 and you'll get by, but there's going to be, some instances where you got to call Bob down the street who has a better tool than you. All right. So just as I said, invest in the 906BT. I wouldn't recommend the 906. That's just me personally. Some of you guys may be more mechanical and you guys need something very basic. You don't want the extensive coding, then maybe the 906 will be good for you. But personally, I think you should have all the work operations in your workshop under one roof. So the 906BT would do it. Now there's one other model called the 906TS, which is right above the 906BT. If I went to your shop and showed you both of them, the only difference is the price. The 906TS is more expensive, and the TS version has a TPMS app embedded in the tablet. So you can do TPMS, testing, relearning, and programming. Now this device that you're looking at only has the ability to read the TPMS module on the dash, like if the light's on, and it can attempt to erase it. That's it. It doesn't do any program. All right. Now let's move forward. You can see this little dot right here, this button. This allows you to use this as a flashlight. So let's say if you're looking for the OBD port, you press this, a light will project so you can see exactly where to stick this in. This is called a VCI, Vehicle Communication Interface. All right. The processor is a Samsung hexa-core processor. In plain English, guys, this allows you to work faster. With this tool, you can multitask. Long is the days of, entering one screen and having to exit out to get to another screen. This, you can multitask. All right. And having a faster processor allows you to, zip straight through your diagnostics. All right. The screen is quite big. It's a 8-inch capacitive screen, and it's touchscreen. And one of the cool things about this is the battery. It's a lithium battery that can give you about 8 hours of battery life. Now, just a quick tip, you guys. If you want to maximize your battery life, you can probably get a good maybe 3 to 5 years of battery with this tool. Now, what I suggest is letting the battery get quite low, and then when you charge it, maybe charge it in the day. Do not leave it in the charger the whole night, because when you have it charged at 100% and it's already charged, that heat generated deteriorates the battery, and you won't get a long duration of life with the battery. All right, that's just a little quick tip. Now let's dive into the special functions case study. This is what you guys have been waiting for. key programming and VIN writing. Yes, key programming and VIN writing. We're going to show a demonstration on how easy it is to use with our device. Let's look at this case scenario. We got a 2005 Ford Focus, a no crank or no start after used PCM installation. After the PCM was installed, the vehicle is experiencing no crank due to the PAT security system. Now the goal is to use a Maxisys to gain access to the PAT security system to program 2 of the required keys to enable the engine to operate and start. This is stuff that dealers do. This is what you guys are probably outsourcing right now. And you can do this in the comfort of your own shop with the Maxisys. Let's just take a look at this, guys. So we just installed the PCM and we cut on the ignition, and you see that bad boy? You see that? You see that? That's the PAT security going off like the 4th of July. All right? And the car is doing nothing. Nothing. Reason being, this is a procedure with Ford. You need 2 of these keys in order to program it to get the car to go. And I'm going to show you how it's done with our tool. First thing you're going to do, you can click the service button. Next, body. Next, security. Now, we're going to click PAT's function, and it's going to give us just a brief synopsis of what module we're going into. And it's telling us that we need a minimum of 2 keys to complete this task. All right. Let's click next. Follow the instructions. Now, I'm not going to sit here and go through this 10-minute procedure. I'm going to, speed it up because you guys are going to be slitting your wrist. But just to give you an analogy, guys, this is exactly how it's like when you take your car to a dealer. The Ford's, let's say, OEM device has this same exact menu. All right, I know this because I do programming. All right, so let's follow the instructions. Very simple, guys. Very simple. And what I love about this tool, it's easy to navigate. Very easy to navigate. If you have a finger and you can read, you can code. All right. You need 2 keys to start the vehicle. Do you wish to continue? Just press yes. There you go. The operation has been successful. Now what's going to happen is the Maxisys is going to give us the manual instructions on how to code these keys back into the vehicle, which I'll show you in just a minute. What we did now, we just erased all the previous data, and now we're going to code it back in there, and this is where the magic happens. Okay, and you can see this eraser will not start until you complete the following steps. Perform the following steps to program the ignition keys. Step 1, turn the ignition off. Not difficult. Step 2, turn key 1 in the ignition on for 3 seconds, then remove. Step 3, turn key number 2 in the ignition to on for 3 seconds and then remove. And you repeat this process if you're adding an additional key. And that's it. Now, when you're doing this, if you follow these procedures, your car will start. And this is living proof how easy it is to do key programming with the tool. This is a very, very powerful feature, guys, because as I said, most people are taking their stuff to a dealer, or AKA the stealer. We don't want to do that. All right. I like to keep things under one roof. It makes you more profitable. It makes your client more happy, and everybody, it's a win-win situation for everybody. All right. Lastly, you turn on the ignition and then you're done. The car is off and on. All right. Let's look at another one. All right. We got a Hyundai. Customer lost the key. This is applicable for anybody in the locksmith and auto repair industry. All right. We have a blank key that we need to program and add to the vehicle. The goal is to use a Maxisys to do the key programming to avoid taking the vehicle to the dealer. All right. Now, let's just follow the steps. Control unit, click immobilization. All right. The tester cannot program the keys with the T5 stamp. Press OK. Diagnostic system initialization. All right. Click immobilizer setup. Go on to step 4. Add and delete keys. Bam. All right. Add one key. There you go. Turn the ignition off. Turn the ignition to on with the original key. Let the Maxisys do its magic. Turn the ignition switch off for 17 seconds. Switch on with new key within 20 seconds. Hear that, guys? Very simple. Turn the ignition switch off. This is very simple, guys. Like, Stevie Wonder could do this with Ray Charles glasses. Like this, it's like dead simple. And you know what I love? That noise when it works. Wait for it, wait for it. Let's wait for it. Turn the ignition switch off. All right. Well, cut this bad boy on. Check all keyless access remotes to ensure each will start the engine. Ready? Ready? Oh man, I love it. Now on to the next test protocol. We got a Chrysler and we need to force write a VIN number to the new replaced ECU module. Some research notes on the situation. The original ECU is malfunctioning and we need to replace it with a new ECU. After the ECU module has been replaced, the car will not start due to the fact that the new ECU needs the correct VIN number programmed in order for the car to start. The goal is to use the Maxisys to copy the old VIN number from the old ECU and force write it into the new ECU to get the car started. You guys probably didn't even know this thing could do this. All right. So you see this right here? This is the original ECU module that's in the car. Just imagine that it's in the car. All right. Now, we're going to use the Maxisys to read this ECU module. Go to Special Functions. Check VIN. Bam. There you go. All right. So we retrieve that VIN number. Now, this is a critical step. We're going to turn off the vehicle, then disconnect the skim module as seen in this diagram. Reason being, when we connect the new ECU, it will not register a security immobilizer code in the vehicle that will prevent the car from starting. All right. This is something you guys probably wouldn't have figured out, but let me just, streamline the diagnosis process. Let's just say that we have purchased the new ECU. We got it from the dealer or wherever we got it. We got the new ECU and we're going to put it in the vehicle and use the Maxisys number. So what the tool does, it saved that VIN number, which you can see right there. And now we're going to force write it in the vehicle, which we did successfully. And all you do is plug in the skim and then you're in. You have successfully used the Maxisys to force write VIN numbers. Yes, our tool can do that. All right. So in this next slide, I want to share with you some of the hidden benefits in the 906BT. As you can see here, here's the main interface. Very legible, big icons. A blind man can see what's going on. What I want to do is dive into the diagnostics here. So I want you to pay attention to this particular feature. This is called the vehicle history. And if you're in the auto body repair industry, this is a golden opportunity for you to start making money by taking this automated, let's say, scan. It populates all the car's information, and you can email this straight to your insurance companies right on the spot, or you can email it to your secretary, and that way you can start, keeping your work operations in-house instead of, taking your stuff to the dealer. This is the GM section. This is the European. And what I want to advise, especially my international clients, this tool has selections of what region of the particular car you're working on. So let's say if I get a Toyota, it'll then ask you, is this Toyota from, India? Is it from Asia? Is it from North America? And you can click which one is relevant to the problem that you're trying to solve. All right. So please don't be afraid if this tool will work in your region. Yes, this tool has been designed from the ground up, and it will work in virtually any region. Okay. Phenomenal tool, guys. Phenomenal. The other thing I want to share with you guys is this has the ability to do light duty vehicles. All right. If you want to do heavy duty vehicles, you need a new device by Autel called the MS906BT. This does like your big 18-wheelers and stuff like that. All right. But the BT can cover regular vehicles, your high end from Bentleys, Audis, all that type of stuff, to your light duty vehicles. All right. And something I want you to pay attention. You see this button right here? This is called Data Manager. So when you run into an error, you click Data Manager, it'll collect the code of the software, and then you'll analyze it. Our engineers will analyze it, and then they can send you an update. Now, what I do for my clients as a service, part of my service is they report to me the problem, I'll do the data lodging for them, and then I'll send it directly to my engineers, and they'll write the code to fix that problem and send you a specific update. Okay, that way, if you do it yourself, you're going to be waiting probably a couple of weeks to get an answer back. All right. So right there is a team viewer. This allows me to connect to your tablet to see if there's any problems with it, or I can show you how to do, X, Y, Z, and so forth. This is a cool feature that will allow you to see what the tool can do before you plug it in the vehicle. So let's say I want to see what this tool can do in terms of key programming. I will just type it in right there, and it'll give me a whole list of it. Okay. Some other pretty cool features on the tablet, which you'll see, is what they call special functions. Special functions are vehicle specific. They allow you to perform various component adaptations, for example, to calibrate or reset certain components after a repair or replacement. Okay, I'll show you a sample screen probably later. And then during an active test, this tests certain outputs in the ECU. So to put this in plain English, I had a client, was a locksmith, was reporting to me that a lot of clients will put their purse in the back of their trunk and they'll forget their keys. So what he did was, once he got into the front door, he plugged in our device, did an active test that was controlled, and it opened up that trunk with the active test. So you can test like windows, headlights, and stuff, so forth like that. All right. So that's active test. The other cool feature is hot functions. The hot functions is specially designed to provide you the quick access to the vehicle systems for various scheduled services and maintenance. All right, and I'm going to dive into this. In fact, let's do that right now. So we got the hot functions right here, and the first and basic one is the oil reset. This function allows you to perform resets for the engine oil light system, which calculates an optimal oil life change interval. Depending on the vehicle's driving condition and climate, the oil life reminder must be reset every time the oil is changed so that the system can calculate when the next oil change is required. The next one is the electronic parking brake, abbreviated EPB. This function has a multitude of usages to maintain the electronic braking system safely and effectively. The applications includes deactivating and activating the brake control system, assisting with brake fluid control, opening and closing brake pads, and setting brakes after disc or pad replacement. Next is brake bleeding. Most brakes should be bled in regular period to keep your brake system at an optimal performance. Small amounts of air can become trapped in the brake line, creating a spongy feeling when you step on the pedal. If large amounts of air enter in the brake line, your vehicle can suffer a complete braking failure. This function provides you the menu-driven instructions, which are usually vehicle-specific. Following the instructed steps, and you will remove the air from the brake lines. This helps ensure that your brakes are in top condition. And another thing in regarding to brakes, when you're working on let's say a VW, for example, sometimes in order to extract the brake calipers, you need specialized equipment to do that. Our tool can do that. It can extract those brake calipers electronically that will allow you to replace them. All right. DPF, the diesel particulate filter. Service function performs regeneration procedure. It's to clear the blockage through continuous burning of the particulate matters captured in the DPF. If the DPF light on the vehicle comes on and you successfully complete a DPF regeneration cycle, you will notice that the DPF light will automatically turn off. The next one is one of my favorites, the mobilizers and key functionality. This function provides you two options, namely transponder code eraser and registration. The eraser wizard guides you to erase all registered immobilizer keys except for the one you are using. The registration wizard guides you to register the desired mobilizer keys. To complete either procedure successfully, you are strongly suggested to strictly follow the menu-driven instructions. Okay. The next one is injectors. This function is usually used to set the compensation code for the new injector assembly or the injectors to the engine ECU after replacement. Lastly, we have throttle. This function is used to make the engine ECU to learn the fully closed position of the electrically controlled throttle valve. Complete the learning by the on-screen instructions step by step. All right, so this is hot function, guys. This is something that's going to incorporate your basic servicing in your workshop. This part of the presentation, I want to dive into the journey of the purchasing that you guys are experiencing. I know my clients really well, and I get hit with the same obligations each and every time. And I have clients who took the online route, and I have clients who took the, buying from the local route. They became my client later after, let's say, paying me a consultation fee to solve their problem because their service was virtually gone. Okay, so let's start with the journey that you're probably taking. The first thing you guys typically do is you go on Google, you type in Maxisys, BT or Pro or whatever one you're looking for, and you get a list of all these online resellers. Now, some people ask me, Kurt, I see this at a really, really good price. Is this a legitimate tool? For the most part, yeah, it is a legitimate tool. Most of them are certified distributors, and I can 50-50 I can say it's a genuine tool. Now, China is huge. Most of these vendors are from China. Now, this is something that you guys don't know, and I'm going to help you guys out right now. When you purchase your tool, let's say if you're from the US and you purchase your tool from one of these online vendors, and let's say everything going fine, but 8 months down the road, you upgrade your VCI and it's just not working anymore, or your software is running really slow, and you call Autel New York because it says on the box there's a 1-800 number for Autel New York. You call them and they ask for customer support. What's going to happen is they're going to ask for your serial number, and your serial number, if it's not within their database of the tools that they imported from Autel headquarters, which is based in China, they're not going to service your tool. They're going to tell you to call these guys and you have to send your tool back. So how do you feel sending your tool back to somebody that you probably never picked the phone and actually talked to? Okay, and do you know that there's certain shipping couriers that don't accept lithium batteries? And do you know how strict the Chinese customs department is? So you think you're saving money by going this route, and that's why China, the only way they can differentiate themselves from other resellers is just by throwing the lowest price. Okay, so ultimately you will be paying more for that repair. Or let's say if you're in a situation where you're trying to get a particular coding task done and you need tech support, you can't call these guys. These guys are product related stuff and they're on a different time frame. Okay, so as I said, I have people who went this route, and they will advise you that in the long term your costs will be more, and it's not worth it when you're buying such an expensive tool. All right, the other thing, we got Amazon and eBay. Now, most people trust these platforms. eBay and Amazon have done a phenomenal job to, let's say, be the security blanket to ensure the transaction goes through smoothly. But the problem with Amazon and eBay is, even though you trust Amazon, you don't know the origin of where your tool is coming from. Now, I'm telling you guys, I can look at an ad, I can look at a listing, I know exactly where the origin of that tool is from just by looking at it. Okay, you don't know the difference. So you're thinking you're purchasing maybe a US spec or one that's made for the US, but you're actually buying one from overseas. So this is how it works, guys, because I used to actually do this, but I have my own reasons why I got off this platform. Amazon has a warehouse. So what some of these online sellers do is they'll send their tools to the warehouse, and then Amazon will then sell it for them. They'll dispatch it. That's why you can get your stuff in like one day. Okay. Now this is what happens if you have a problem. Let's say you get your tool and all the software is not on it. You're gonna call Amazon. You're gonna say, "Hey, my software isn't on it." So Amazon then has to track down the vendor, who's probably from overseas, and then you have to hope that he sends your answers your question back on how to get that thing done. That's just not a good experience, guys. Time is money. Okay? The same thing with eBay. A lot of these vendors will propose that they're, from the US, but I'm telling you guys, I can look at the listing and tell you that the origin of where they're from, and you will get two different experiences. Okay? So that's what to expect, because a lot of you guys will purchase this and you don't hear the calls that I'm getting every day, and you don't think about these things. So this is just a little guide to have you look into the future on which route you can choose from. And this one, I just want to share with you how the system, the distribution system is set up, and what to expect depending on which route you take in terms of purchasing. Platforms who are volume motivated have a difficulty controlling the quality of service and training, since there are more clients than support technicians. So let's take a look at this here. High volume or mass market sales typically result in a decreased service quality. Okay, there's too much demand and not enough people or technicians or consultants to tailor all the tools are being sold. Where with my let's say business model is, all the people who I sell the tool to deal with me directly. Okay, I know them by name. I know their what tools they have. I know them almost on a very one-on-one relationship. So by me filtering or restricting the number of sales in my funnel, it creates an increased service quality. Guys, I'm not doing huge volumes. I'm only probably doing maybe 10 or 12 units a month. Okay, and this is good for me to have that one-on-one relationship. All right, let's just put this in perspective. On the upper right, the water represents the customers. The cup represents the support. Now, this is what it's like right now. There's too many customers for one, let's say, call center to handle all these people. There's no way. And these are some of the calls that I'm getting that I'm not going to help, because, as I said, I have paying clients that I have to spend my time helping these guys out. I can't help the whole world. All right. So this is the choice that you can make. And this is just general advice, guys. Just general advice. I'm just going to share with you some of the, let's say, the weekly calls that I get from non-clients. All right. Look at this example. Updates will not install properly and subscription has just ended. A non-client contacted me in efforts to help him with a software installation issue. He mentioned that he has been trying to install a BMW application for 2 days with no success. In addition to this information, his yearly subscription has just expired. Okay? Due to the fact that his updates expired, he would have to purchase a brand new subscription just to receive that one BMW application. So let me explain what happened. This gentleman specializes on BMW. He recognized that his updates were going to end in like 2 days. So he tried to download all the apps at one time, and for whatever reason, his Maxisys tablet, the memory was full. Okay? So the BMW application, which is the biggest app on our tablet, wouldn't install properly. It kept on downloading and trying to install, and then his subscription expired. So he called me to see if I can get Autel to just send him that little app, and then everything's fine. Autel won't do that for you. Okay, Autel will not do that for you. He had to pay $1,250 just to get that one app. Okay, and even with that update, he still doesn't know how to solve his memory problem. All right, this is a non-client. Okay, let's look at another example. This non-client tablet's operating system is malfunctioning and needs a new subscription, but does not know his login details. So a lot of my clients, and maybe even yourself watching this video, are not really computer savvy. So maybe your technician did all the registration for you. You're the shop owner. This is not your specialty, so you're not going to remember what registration you did with this tool. This happens to a lot of people. Okay. In this situation, this client contacted me to explain the symptoms of his machine. After the unit would turn on, it would not allow him to diagnose any vehicle, since it would automatically switch to the Android operating system menu. So you guys remember when I showed you the diagnostic screen, for whatever reason, it would just take you to the Google Android operating system. And every 20 seconds, it would just do that, So the verdict was, due to the fact that he was not my client, I was not able to assist him. I suggested he call the dealer whom he purchased the original tool from. And he said he contacted the dealer, but the dealer that he got it from was not competent with the tool, and you couldn't consult him as what the root of the problem was. I knew exactly what his problem was. He needed to reformat his tablet, and I could have retrieved his login credentials, which I actually did for him. Okay, but as I said, he's not my client. All right, I got another example. This is my last one, guys. I'm sure you get the point. But this gentleman, this client acquired the wrong version. He needed the Brazilian version. So a non-client was not consulted properly before purchasing his tool online. He's from Brazil, and he purchased a US version of the Maxisys. The US version does not have the 20 local Brazilian cars which he needs in order to diagnose the vehicles in his particular demographic. He asked if I could change the software to the right version, and I told him to contact the dealer to request if he can do this. He later discovered the dealer was actually an overseas distributor and was not able to touch bases with the seller. He was not able to really get a hold of this person. After he finally got communication with the seller, they informed him that they could not perform this task. He was not able to upgrade his device. As a result, he was not able to meet the needs of his clients. So he's losing money, okay? Only because he was not consulted properly, okay? Most of the information you guys see on the internet is a copy and pasted, recycled, jargon that, you can't talk to a live person, okay? It's the wrong way of doing things, okay? I have an actual recording of somebody who called me maybe a few weeks ago. This is just the calls that I get.
This is Curtis from Autel speaking. How can I assist you?
Yes, I have the Maxis Smart Diagnostics, the Pro, and I buy it a week ago, and I've been using it all this week. And right now, I just turn it on, and the screen just starts freezing. You say Maxis, and that's it. I have like a 10 minutes already, and it doesn't show anything. How I can reset it, go back, or turn it off?
Okay. Well, one thing I need to disclose with you, I know exactly what your problem is, but the thing is, you didn't buy the tool from me, so I only can help my clients. What you need to do is you need to call Autel New York, and then they'll be able to help you. But I think they're closed now. Do this. Go on the internet and type in Autel New York, okay? And then.
So I don't want to let you guys go through the whole, conversation, but you get the point. So bottom line, if you want to go through let's say the world of Google and acquire your tool through these platforms, you're going to get a cheaper price but the lifetime overall cost will be more, okay? Versus when you buy the tool from, let's say, me or a local dealer who has a higher price, your overall cost will be eliminated virtually to zero, okay? So think of the long term, and I would stay away from trying to get the short term solution because it's just a band-aid. It's temporary. This is the support that I offer, and this is how it should be. I have another little water diagram. Okay, you see this? These are all my clients, secured in a bluely structured support. Now, when I get to the point where I get too many clients, you know what happens? I cut it off. I don't accept any more clients. That way I can take care of the clients that I have, and then when I got some more, I just turn on the funnel and I got some more clients. This is working beautifully, and this is how, in my opinion, the distribution of our tools should be. Some of the perks is you'll have an assigned consultant. So every tool that is sold will be assigned to either myself or another competent consultant. Okay, that way you'll know and have access to that person virtually 24/7, and they'll know exactly how to handle your problem. The other benefit is there's a limited number of clients. So usually when you have, let's say, a huge number of clientele, there's going to be a long waiting list to get to a human being. Since my system is set up where I have a limited number of clients, I can talk to you virtually anytime. If I do miss your call, if I'm like consulting another client, I'll get an email notification, and I promise to always call you back. Yes, I will call you back, okay? Lastly, you get training videos. So I have videos that will show you how to use a Maxisys step by step, from when you get the tool. And then I go on to other things like, electrical, programming, key coding, break bleeding procedures, active tests. And some of the stuff you guys might know, but there's other things that you guys actually don't know. And it's always good to get those golden nuggets of information. Lastly, let's say if you're working on a particular vehicle and you're looking to see if there's key coding on it. Give me the VIN number, the year and the make. I work directly with the engineer. We can give you the step-by-step instructions on how to execute that coding task. Okay? You're getting it from the source, from the people who made the software. This way, there's no, time being wasted trying to figure things out yourself. All right? Lastly, software management. Now, software management allows me to prevent you from being in those, let's say, non-client situations. Now, I'm not saying that my clients don't have these problems. My clients do get these problems, but the difference is that I can address them and fix that problem. So another thing that I noticed that you guys do, when you guys are looking at like the Autel forums or something like that, you'll see a lot of people complaining, but these guys are complaining because they have no consultant to address their problem, and they go out and they, spam the forums of all the anger and their frustration. That's the only difference, guys. All right, let me dive into this, and also repairs and replacement, software management. Okay. Problems with not having software management, your tablet's going to run sluggish. Software apps are not installing properly. Your memory gets full. Wi-Fi not connecting. Your software bricks, the tablet when it restarts. Like, these are like stuff that does happen, okay? And since I am a professional at this, I'm an expert at this, I can solve this, all right? One thing, I have a lot of clients that will, let's say, buy their tool from, me, and they say, Kurt, I'm going to be moving to this location. I need to switch to French. I have the ability to do that. All right. Another advantage is revert software back to older versions. So sometimes I've noticed this, when you update your tool, the newer versions are buggy, or the auto VIN doesn't work as well, and they just want the one that was working for them. Okay, then I can ask my engineers to revert back to the old one. We'll delete the current version that you have and give you the one that you like. Okay, so this is phenomenal because as I said, it helps. This allows you to keep on working without any interruptions. And then back-end troubleshooting. So let me give you an example. I had a client who was working on a bin sprinter. He wanted to adjust the speed limiter on this bin sprinter. So what happened was he found the functions there. But he was getting an error. So he called me up. He said, Kurt, I can't get this thing to work. Can you take a look at my tablet? I logged into his tablet. I did the data logging for him, which recorded the back-end code and software behind the scenes, and I sent it to my engineer, gave them this hypnosis, and they said, Kurt, okay, we'll release him a modified file that will fix that problem. So in 3 days, my engineers sent him a tailored, rectified, let's say, file that helped him execute that problem. He was able to do that task. Okay, this is golden, guys, because there's a lot of this is a whole new generation, guys. This isn't like cut easy as 1, 2, 3. This is software, and software has bugs in it. Okay, and that's where I come into play. So you can see the price of this is 1,800 USD. You can get these things cheaper, but this is what I tell people, all right? I've never found a vendor that will give you the one-on-one support, the training videos, the software management update, the repair capabilities, and the training for the lowest price. It's like a unicorn. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, okay? So if you want to maximize the performance of your technician working with this, if you want to grow with the tool, if you want to work with me directly, these are the people who I want to do, okay? If that's not important to you, you're more than happy to purchase your tool, at the vendors that I previously mentioned in this video. Okay, this is how you order. It's very simple. You call me up first. Okay, I'm going to consult you to make sure that you're qualified to own this tool. All right, after that has been done, after the initial consultation and you're ready to take the next step, I'll get your email and send you a PayPal pro forma invoice. Now, for those of you who don't know PayPal, they act as an escrow company. They're used by eBay. They're very, very well trusted company, and they make sure that both parties are, let's say, protected during the transaction. If you do not have a PayPal account, it's perfectly fine. You just need a credit card, and you can still continue the transaction. After I send you the invoice, you'll get an email that says see your invoice, and it's going to show you everything that you're going to be receiving, okay? And then on the top will be pay now. You click pay now, then you'll be able to enter in your shipping details, so I'll know where to ship the tool, and your credit card information. All right. If you have an existing PayPal account, you may log in, or if not, you can go ahead and fill in the credit card information. Lastly, it'll take about 2 or 3 days for Autel to prepare and inspect your order. And on the 3rd or 4th day, I will give you the tracking number via UPS, and shipping takes about 3 to 5 days. If you're in the US, it'll take 3 to 5 days. It'll be dispatched either from Chicago or California. Okay? For my international clients, it'll be shipped directly from our Autel facilities based in China. Okay, which will take about 7 days. Okay, And when you get the tool, you call me up. I'll give you the initial walkthrough. I'll sign you up for the training videos, and I'll get you kick-started. So that concludes this presentation. If you liked this video, I would like for you to do the following. You can give me a call, I can consult you, and then we can take it from there. Subscribe to this channel because I'm going to be producing more valuable content that gives you, step-by-step training. And, let me know how you feel. If you want certain content, please, leave a comment below, and I read all my content, and I'd love to hear what other additional content I can provide for you guys, okay? With that, my name is Curtis Harden. I thank you so much for sticking with me. You guys probably watched all my videos. And give me a call. I'll give you an irresistible offer. Just mention that you watched this video, and I'll give you something that's really, really irresistible. Okay? Take care and have a good one, guys. Talk to you later.